me know when we're live.
We're live.
All right. Commissioner Brewer here with league champion Vincent Regina. Post-season interview, we're going to ask you some questions about the season. Number one, you come into the draft having never played fantasy football before. Tell me, what are your thoughts as it began, and what was your strategy in the early rounds?
It was a lot of fun, and my strategy was to try and get a balanced team. Running backs is usually the way to go to start, so I tried to get a couple of good running backs. I very luckily picked up Peyton Manning early, and pretty much that was the reason I won.
Excellent. Number two, speaking of Peyton Manning, rumor has it you almost chose Eli Manning over Peyton Manning. What was it that ultimately led you to go with Peyton over Eli, and how much do you think that decision affected your season?
All right, well, I'm a huge Giants fan, being from New York, and I just had a feeling that I wanted to put a Giant on my team, and when I was ready to pick my quarterback, after someone had already picked a quarterback, I really was going to pick pick Eli Manning, but I wanted Peyton just because he's a better quarterback. Manning was there, and I just wanted Peyton. Perfect. And it's the reason I won.
Okay. Moving on, you suffered a crippling loss to Yahtzee touchdowns in the Commemorative Fantasy Football League's all-time lowest margin of victory lost by a mere 0.08 points due to Zach Stacy coming out of the game. Tell the fans, how much did that hurt? And how often did you wake in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, reliving that 0.08 deficit?
I still have nightmares. Even after winning, I still have nightmares of that. I was hoping that he and I would make it to the final so I could get that back. 0.08 back.
All right. Having suffered that 0.08 loss to Yahtzee touchdowns in the regular season, at the time, without debate, the most crushing defeat in the history of fantasy football. After watching Bono's Bowl lose to Amy's team in the Consolation Bowl by 0.28 on what was without doubt the dumbest play in NFL history, can you sum up which loss was more devastating?
I would have to say that your loss was worse. Yeah.
For the records, that was Bono's Bowl's loss was a little more devastating. All right. You come into the championship game averaging 117 points versus your opponent Quaterade, who averages 115 points per game. You had just lost your star tight end, Rob Gronkowski. With just a 2-point spread, exactly how confident were you that you would end up with the trophy and the prize money at the end of Week 16?
Not confident at all. Not at all.
Not at all, he said. To follow up the previous question, going into the second half of the championship Monday Night Football game, you led by less than 3 points. You had Michael Crabtree, who had put up 0 so far, and you were playing against Dixie Jackson, who already had a touchdown in the game. What were the emotions rushing through you with only one half left in the season, up by 3 points, and seemingly no momentum?
I just hid myself in my work and just hoped for the best.
Hopes for the best. Last question here. Obviously, you have millions of fantasy fans from all over the nation who are marveling at your season. As a rookie fantasy owner and current league champion, what inspirational words of wisdom can you share with other first-time owners as they prepare for their first draft in this coming 2014 season?
It's a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, but it's all about the draft.
All about the draft. There you have it, folks. True words of wisdom and glory from the first ever league champion of Commemorative Fantasy Football, owner Mr. Vincent Regina. We thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to the 2014 season, the draft, the regular season, the playoffs, and the championship game. As a reminder to fantasy owners all over the world, Richard Zergulis was the Sacco. Last place. The absolute worst fantasy owner out of everyone. Dead last. Richard is Sacco. The two are literally synonyms. Until September 2014, I bid you adieu. May you study up for the draft, and we'll see you in August.